show an example from your own life, how you practice being a victor and not a victim. Okay, so with that, we are going to jump into this beautiful subject that is very timely again. Would you believe it? Let me pull up my wonderful notes. I have a lot of notes. Okay, so the reason why we chose this subject today, because today, these days, in fact, I should say years, victimhood is just rampant out there. And it's almost like people trying to make it a competition. Who is more of a victim? So who deserves more attention? To me, it seems that it's always about people trying to get attention. And when they got attention, they want some more attention. And when they got some reparations, then they would want some more reparations. So it never ends. And victimhood, or the idea that you're a victim, is more than anything else keeps you from fulfilling your purpose on earth. Because if you look at yourself as a victim and never a victor, if you look at yourself as someone who constantly is being oppressed, you will never go from point A to B. Okay, so this is something that holds you back. So that's why I want to talk against it, because I don't ever want you to feel. Let me put this screen somewhere else so I can actually see my notes. So the reason why we talk against this and we teach against it is because we never want you to feel like you have no option, okay? No matter where you came from, you were never meant to be a victim, and you can always rise above it wherever you came from. I mean, I can tell you with horrible stories from people who actually did go through a lot of stuff, sexual abuse, being trafficked, just abuse at home, abuse everywhere else, but they chose not to be a victim. It's optional. Suffering is universal. Victimhood is optional. Remember that. Suffering is universal. Everybody has some kind of a story that they can tell you, that they lived as a victim, that they lived as someone who was oppressed, who was less than a conqueror. But where the divider is where someone chooses to be a victim, as in oppressed, and chooses all that thing to hold them back. And the other person who went through the same situation or even worse, okay, chooses to rise above it and to put all that thing behind. And we are going to look at some of the biblical examples to help you understand how you can overcome it. So suffering is universal. Victimhood is optional. It's always your choice how you regard your situation, how you regard yourself. Never forget, never feel that you have no option. That's a lie. You have an option always. So as I touched on this when we started this program, Oppression Olympics. I mean, it's like everybody is competing to come up with something that makes them seem more of a victim than the next person. For instance, I am more oppressed than you are because I'm a woman. You're a man. Obviously, you have more choices in life, which is a crap. It's not true. Because again, nobody can victimize you unless you give them permission. And I mean it. Nobody can look down on you, oppress you without your consent. People can try to step on you, but it is your choice how it makes you feel. And I'm not trying to put more responsibility on the victims that I would put on the abusers, but I want to talk to you. Don't participate in victimhood. It doesn't lead anywhere. It leads you into a self-pity, self-serving, self-centered circle that never ever ends, and you will never be fulfilled in this life. You will never live up to your full potential, and we don't want you to have this kind of an empty, shallow, meaningless life like most everybody with this mentality. So for instance, I'm more oppressed because I'm a woman, and I'm also, let's say I'm Black, then I'm a trans, then I'm a lesbian, then I'm disabled as well. I'm sitting in a wheelchair. So it's like everybody's like one-upping each other. Who is more of a victim? Who is more oppressed than the next person? Where does it lead? Well, number one, I think it's attention seeking at the very least. And also it's like, okay, if I'm more of a victim, then I deserve more of an attention than you do. I deserve more. I deserve my voice to be heard louder. because I'm more of a victim than you are. I deserve more reparations. I deserve more things in life. I deserve more opportunities in life because I'm victimized, because I'm a victim. Maybe the other person next to you who's sitting down with dignity went through more stuff than you do, but your voice is louder because of the way you perceive yourself. And the person next to you with the same situation or worse situation will go farther in life because they don't allow anybody to victimize them and to keep them oppressed. Okay, there is healing in Jesus. There, I have seen it, I have experienced it. Everybody can talk about it, and all of us came from somewhere. So don't ever feel like you are the worst. Your situation is the worst. Nobody can help you. That's a lie from the pit of hell. So with this victim Olympics, with this oppression Olympics, and then you keep going, okay, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm trans, I'm this and that, on and on. And the victim mentality is what keeps people going ahead in life, from moving from point A to point B. Okay, so let's see what victimhood does to you. See, victimhood is not something that happened to you, but it's a mentality. Victimhood is a mentality. It's called victim mentality, and it is not attractive. If you think it's attractive, you're in the wrong club. You definitely should not be a Christian if you think victimhood is something to be proud of. Nope, it's not. Okay, so how does victim mentality manifest? Number one, it provides a permanent ability for personal failures. Imagine that. If you come from a certain ethnicity, you are surrounded by different ethnicity. Imagine that. That's called living. That's called life. That you chose that path. You chose to be there. You are among people who are different than you are because they look differently. They come from a different culture. They come from a different history. They come from a different ethnic group. They come from a different background, different country. Does that make you oppressed? Does that make you victim ultimately? Just because you are different? No. Guess what? If you are the best at what you do, no one cares how you look. No one cares how old you are. No one cares where you came from. No one even cares whether you're male or female if you are the best at what you do. So what are you going to do? You are going to perfect your skills. You are going to develop yourself. Number one, you're going to invest in yourself. You're going to sit down in front of your computer or however you choose to view this program, and you're going to listen to it. Maybe not live because of the time difference, I understand that, but at least make the investment in yourself time-wise, because this is free. We're nice, we're giving it to you for free. Other people are going to charge you for it, but you can sit down and listen to how to come out of this stupid, idiotic, selfish, self-centered, petty, small-minded victim mentality. And that's what we're teaching today. So first of all, this is what the victim mentality does for you, or against you rather. It provides a permanent ability for personal failures. If you feel like a victim, you are going to act like it. Oh, you know what? I can't even lift this bag or something because I'm a victim. I can't do this. I can't go that far because you know what? My health is this, my health is that. Well, have you been involved in sports? Because the person who's supposed to be, for instance, next to you, maybe the person is older, but the person spent time and effort and energy and resources into developing their own skill, while you were sitting on your butt watching television and growing fat. So why don't you go out, get off from the television set and go out and make some investment in yourself in terms of your health. That will definitely benefit you. Second, and this is my personal favorite, victim mentality attracts attention. And frankly, I think attention is what most people are all about. Those who claim to be victims, that has been my personal experience from what I can tell. People want attention, pay attention to me. I'm very victim. I'm more victim than yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to be even more victim. And everybody has to pay attention to me. Number three, it generates sympathy. Yes, people love sympathy. Victim mentality loves sympathy. That's what they live on. The more sympathy you give them, the more they want. It never ends. It never ends. Number four, victim mentality acts as a social currency with like-minded people. You're going to have your pity party. You're going to have like-minded people, victim mentality people, oppressed mentality people, people who also don't go anywhere in life. They're going to gather around you because they said, you know what, I find the kindred spirit. The person next to me is even more abused than I was. Then, you know, maybe I should just kind of cuddle up to them, and then maybe some of it will rub off of me. I will get more attention if I'm hanging out with people who are more of an oppressed mind than I am. It just never ends. Absolutely disgusting. Meanwhile, your life goes nowhere. Okay. Number 5. Victim mentality disguises negative traits and actions as virtues. So if you are morbidly obese, then it's like, you know what? I love my body. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to live healthy. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to take less food in. I can just be fat. And I'm, maybe not. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. So you can make up your own mind. Definitely, it's not healthy to be overweight. It's not comfortable on any level. Okay. If you think it is, think again. Ask people how they feel. Ask obese people how they feel about walking. Okay. Some places don't have cars. They don't have public transportation. They have to walk. People there, interestingly enough, not obese because they exercise, because they are forced to. Okay. If your life is too comfortable, all you have to do is sit and eat. Maybe you need to change your lifestyle. Okay. So let's not participate in this oppression Olympics, and let's not blame those who try to call our attention to it. Okay. You can blame me all you want. It doesn't bother me. Honestly, I have this gift from heaven. Whatever you throw at me just slips off. I couldn't care less. You don't like to hear it, not a problem. Go somewhere else. Okay, so whether you are male or female, you are not more oppressed than the other. It's a garbage. It's something that they try to force feed you with. They try to shove it down your throat like they want you to feel victim. Victims are not in a position of strength ever. A victim is oppressed. A victim is quiet or yelling and crying and screaming about their victimhood, but they're never productive. A victim is never productive. You with an oppressed mentality, you are never productive, never creative. You are never a productive human being, whether you are male, female, Christian, non-Christian. It goes, this truth is universal. So what does the Bible talk about when it talks about victims, when it talks about being a victor? Romans 8:36-37. And I'm going to read it from the New King James Version. It says, as it is written, for your sake we are killed all day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Yet in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. So if you're sitting here listening to me in any way, shape, or form, you are not dead yet. But it says, even if you are, we are killed all day long by words, by looks. You know, looks can kill. You know, that's what I say. You know, if looks could kill, we'd be dead, definitely. So yeah, words, comments. So yeah, we are being killed all day long. And yet, in all these things, through it all, and in spite of it all, we are still not just conquerors, we are more than conquerors. Let's see what it says in the Amplified Version. Just as it is written, and forever remains written, for your sake, talking about Jesus, for Jesus' sake, we are put into death all day long. We are regarded as sheep for the slaughter. Yet in all these things, we are more than conquerors and gain an overwhelming victory through him who loved us so much that he died for us. So it's not just the victory mindset, but it's an overwhelming victory. No matter what people throw at you, it doesn't matter what they throw at you, whether it's stones, words, comments, gossip, rumors. In all these things, you can be more than a conqueror. One of the things you do when you feel like you're a victim, you don't look at yourself, and you don't look at your problems. You don't look at your accusers. You don't look at people who are gossiping in the background. You don't look at people who are spreading rumors and lies and vicious gossip about you. Not a problem. You don't even look there, because you look up to Jesus. And that's when you are more than conqueror. Through it all and in spite of it all. And eventually you just get used to all these things, and it's just effortless. You don't even think about it. You look at Jesus immediately, and your victimhood disappears. It doesn't matter what your roots are, it's what your flowers look like. I love this sentence, meaning that doesn't matter where you come from. Nobody cares about your background. If you had roots, fine. If you didn't have roots, that's fine too. It's the flowers that you bring forth. It's not the roots. God doesn't consult your past to determine your future. God doesn't consult with your past to determine your future. Maybe you came from a disadvantaged family. Maybe you didn't have a family. That's also possible. Millions of people don't have a family, either because they had never had a family, they grew up as orphans. Maybe some of you grew up on streets. I understand that. Some of us had it more than others. Some of us had it worse than you. You just don't see it because the person is healed, the person has been made whole, and now they are preaching the gospel. Because they chose not to have their victim mentality, not to have this oppressed mentality. We don't participate in oppression Olympics. I have more suffering than you do. I had more people coming against me. Things were stolen from me. Things didn't work out for me more than you do. I came from such a disprivileged background, a disprivileged country. I came from, I don't know, like a third world country. Yeah. Even third world country people are very successful when they choose not to be victims.
Amen.
So the bottom line is, let's see, because I have so many things here.
Please continue.
Bottom line is, you don't put your focus on your feelings, on your circumstances, on what other people say, on the victim trend. You don't put your focus there at all, because that's absolutely disgusting and it's counterproductive, and it's always meant to hold you back from your destiny. Remember, we're discussing here identity, dignity, destiny. This touches all three. If you're a victim, you don't have a destiny, because you chose not to look there. You choose not to aim there, because you say, you know what, I come from an unprivileged background. There's no way I can make it to all the way to the end. That's not true. Look at the Bible. How many people were, when you looked at them, when God picked them up, most people were not ready. God doesn't choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. That's very important. Don't look for excuses for God not to use you. Look for all the excuses and for all the wonderful promises where you can actually participate in God's destiny for you.